All right, so why don't we go ahead? So good afternoon, good evening. I'm sure most of you are in the US. Welcome to my webinar. I'm so excited. This is Ironman Texas is one of my favorite races and the one that everything started for me. Also, this is my passion, not only racing, but helping others accomplish their goals and dreams, and that's why I'm here. My name is Fernando López, and I'll be your guide on this journey towards achieving your best performance. And honestly, one of the best, but most challenging Ironmans I've ever been. So whether you are a first timer, a seasoned athlete looking for improving your performance, this webinar is tailored to give you a comprehensive strategy from training tips to even race day tactics. So as a disclaimer, maybe some of the details I describe are changing for this race. Like maybe Ironman doesn't have a welcome dinner, or they change the way they start the swimming. Sometimes they do that for different purposes. So all my tips here are suggestions, but are, as you know, are subject to you to review the athlete guide in detail, which is one of my recommendations as well. So first of all, I'm the founder of Forever Try. Forever Try is an ecosystem that I have created for people like you that needed guidance, advice, tips, experience, and all the possible tools to achieve what, these journeys, these things that we do called Ironmans. So we have individual training plans, geared advice, my own experience, and tips on how to really balance your life with work, family, training. We just launched an app. You know that because you sign up through that. It's kind of a soft launch, but will be used for training plans, meetups, more webinars. So I'm planning to do some camps, instructional videos, and some motivational stories also, and videos that I continuously post in YouTube and LinkedIn. So when you have a chance, subscribe to those channels. There are some pretty cool stuff there. So finally, if you are one of those first people that signed to the webinar, please connect with me via email, or I will connect with you so we can coordinate your training. I would love to help you on this journey. So a little more about me. Let's first talk about what I'm going to be sharing with you. My plan is not just to give you get into the physical aspects of the race, but I will also going to delve into the mental preparation, some nutritional strategies, and all the important logistics that I faced through the 12 times that I did this race. So we'll be covering a range of topics, understanding Ironman Texas, some training tips. We will move into preparation for the race before, during, and after, and some tips for supporters, which is very important. We also often forget: wife, husband, brother, sister, and then we conclude with some training and inspirational thoughts. So finally, we'll have a Q&A. I will try to move as fast as possible so you guys can ask me any questions you want. I aim to leave you prepared, motivated, and hopefully inspired to not only do this one, but keep going and do some more. So a bit more about myself. I'm a normal person like most of you. I have a professional career that has nothing to do with triathlon, by the way. And I'm the one person behind Forever Try, the website, the YouTube channel, the app, the coaching. I'm the one behind it. I'm also an athlete like yourself. And I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son. I even have a dog. So no excuses about being busy or not finding time for training. So I'm as busy as you could be, if no more. I have the necessary credentials, I guess. I'm an Ironman certified coach. I'm a USAT certified coach. I'm a swimming coach as well. I have gone through Training Peaks University, Safe Sports, you name it. I've done it all. And I have been very lucky to complete 2 Ultramans. These are 3 days races. I have completed 8 extreme triathlons, which is Ironmans in the mountains and extreme conditions like Norseman and Swissman, etc. And I completed around 58 Ironman events, both full and half. I've done Leadville 100. I do mountain biking races, like long distance races, like Transportugal, La Ruta, and a few others. And I've done Boston Marathon. This year, I'm very excited. I'm going to do a very famous race called Marathon des Sables in the Morocco desert. It's a 6-day race across the desert. I'm going to Kona, New Zealand Ironman World Championship, and Norseman, which is one of these extreme Ironman. So with that, that's kind of a little bit more about me. So with not further ado, let's dive in. So how about Ironman Texas? It's a big race with athletes from all over. It was the national championship for several years, and it became one of the most important Ironmans worldwide, I would say. This will be the 13th time this race happened. I'm actually one of the ones who completed the race every year. I think there were 5 people last year. So I have done it every year, whether it was hot, rain, you name it, I was there every year. So yeah, in all the possible conditions. So some more details about the race, which you will probably know, but I want to give you the heads up anyway. As for the weather, it is hot, and it's very hot, and it's humid. It's Houston, and I face temperatures from 85 to 110, I think it was one year. So it's very windy, especially on the bike. And with all that said, the hot, look, I'm a cold person, so for the morning, bring a jacket while waiting in the water. So even though it's hot, don't leave the jacket behind. So as for the location, I'm not sure if you are coming from overseas. The Woodlands is located about 30-45 minutes from the airport, so try to stay in the Woodlands if possible. This is full of restaurants. It's a very family-oriented neighborhood, and it's where everything happens. So the closer, the better. Ironman Texas is honestly one of the special races in terms of how friendly it is, all the support people around. It's also special because it's very challenging race. So I would say that it's one of the most challenging ones. But it's spectator friendly, as I said, very friendly for the family, and you can see your family in many, or they can see you in many places during the race, especially on the run where you have many laps. So there is an expo for us, like any other Ironmans, for athletes to check in, buy your stuff. My advice there is go early if you want to get that Ironman t-shirt, or sometimes they have the finisher jacket. Sometimes they leave it to the end. But if you are small or medium size, you better go early. Very important for those of you traveling from overseas, this is a place where you can get the CO2 gas. There is a very nice expo, to be honest, compared to other ones. You can get a wetsuit, you can get your goggles if you forgot them. Hopefully not, but this is a place where you can get all of that. And there are a couple of bike shops in the area anyway. I also recommend to attend the dinner. There is a welcome dinner or banquet, as they call it, where that you're gonna be able to share time with others like yourself, make some friends, and they have a Q&A at the end or an information session. So strongly recommend to be there. Speaking about that, there is a mandatory information session where you can get the latest information about the race. Attend it, please. It's important. I've done the race many times, and even then I still go and listen and to see if there is any latest minute advice anyway. And it's also in Spanish in most cases. So, and if it's not, contact me. I speak Spanish as well. So let's move on preparing for the race, some training tips, some logistic advice, and finally some ideas in nutrition. So in terms of training tips for a successful race, and you may have your coach, I give you my own set of advice. Some of them are just fundamental, really. So the foundation for training is a balanced training plan that mainly harmonizes the swimming, the biking, the running, and is tailored to whatever you want to get out of this. In the pool, focus on technique and endurance, and if you can swim in open water, that would be great. When you do that, simulate the race conditions and test your gear as much as you can. Remember, the water in the Lake Woodlands is warm, is dark. There is no waves, but there are some, moves in the water as well, like in any other place. But my advice there is to test the different goggles. Also, remember, you may have the sun in one of the sides. You will actually have the sun in one of the sides. So when you're training, train to breathe in both sides. Practice that. I think is very important as well. So as for the bike training, have a mix of flat routes with hills and practice cycling in windy conditions. You will have the wind, very strong winds in one side at least. Try some long routes, hopefully that have only a few turns. This is a hardy toll road and you're not gonna turn very many times. Practice rolling hills, as this is one of the, you don't have big hills in this race. However, you have, I believe, 11 passes. So practice some of that, and then practice the nutrition. Remember that on the bike is when you can eat more solids. So try different things. I have even taken a salami sandwich with me. So some people have bring potatoes and other things. So try as many different things as you can. As for training for the running, my recommendations is incrementally build your distance. At this point, you have a couple of months to go. Well, whether you live in the cold or in the heat weather, try to be practicing the heat, of course. Test running with a hat, with no music, which is exactly what's going to happen. And try to emulate what's going to happen the race day, right? Speaking about that, please do some bricks. Bricks are those activities when you bike and then you run. So try to do that to get the sensation of how you're going to feel after 112 miles on the bike. As for the nutrition, nutrition, hydration is your fuel. Learn what your body needs during the long workouts and race day, right? And try to prevent injuries. Incorporate some resting days in your weekly activities. But most important, and you probably know most of this, is mental. So mental preparation will tie all of this together. So visualization, positive self-talk, and just remember that resilience on the race day starts with your mind in training. So get focused and try to visualize yourself, as I always do, in the finish line. So I'm gonna pause for a minute and see if anybody has any particular questions about training, and I get back to this anyway. But anybody has? Let me get off the. Anybody, any questions? Don't be shy, by the way. All right, I'm gonna keep going. So let's talk about logistics, which is quite often overlooked, right? So I give you my best advice. I've done hundreds of races. I travel around the world doing these things. First of all, choose accommodations as close as it could be, in this case, the Woodlands, and arrive as early as you could be. I guess that's basic, but I wanted to say it anyway. During registration, bring your documentation. Don't leave things for the last minute. You don't want to be in a rush. You want to minimize stress. Think about all the transportation you'll need. Is Houston? You better rent a car, I guess, although there is Uber, but renting a car is probably cheaper. Take some time to explore the area. There are a lot of nice restaurants in the Woodlands, but also important, figure out where the medical facilities are. Hopefully none of you need any facility whatsoever, but your family, just have a clear plan before the day of the race. know where you're going to check in, understand the transition areas, and I'm going to discuss that a little deeper anyway. Believe me, mastering these logistics will ensure you focus on the race, and there is nothing else, and you're ready to go when the time comes. And you need that. This is a big monster race. So let's talk about health, safety, which always comes first, of course. And like I said before, it's about fueling your body, right? So hydration will be key. You need to drink a lot of fluids, electrolytes, stay hydrated before, during, and after the race as much as you can. Listen to your body, manage your training load. It's better to arrive slightly under-trained than over-trained and injured. So you don't want to get to that point. On race day, just weight yourself, make sure you feel okay, and then just adjust whatever you have to adjust accordingly for the race. Be prepared for the unexpected. Hopefully nobody needs medical help, but always good to have a plan B. So again, just prioritize your health and safety, and to ensure you have a successful race, not only one, but you can continue doing this. That's very important for all of us, I know. So I know you may have questions about training. We can discuss that later. I'll be happy to take some questions. Let me give you some best possible feedback on the day before the race and exactly what I do. So this is the picture of, we'll talk about this, one of the areas in transition. By the way, all the pictures are from Ironman Texas in one of the years I've been there. So first of all, before the race, you will have a chance to practice swimming, and please take this opportunity. You will not regret it. Remember, practice swimming is not just about doing the distance, but understanding the environment you will be in. Take this opportunity. You will really appreciate it. I typically get there very early. I park my car like a block away. I go to the swim area, and I typically swim 15, 20 minutes. I try to visualize myself on the day of the race and try to test as many things as possible. I will test the wetsuit. I will decide whether or not I will use it. Ironman Texas in most years is not wetsuit legal, but you can use it. However, as I understand it, if you do use the wetsuit, assuming it's legal, you will not qualify for Kona, let's say. And you might say, I'm not there for that. Well, you never know. That's what I would say. So if you are able to swim without it, go for it. That would be my recommendation. Now, this is a decision that is also finalized the morning of the race. So you will know if it's wetsuit legal the morning of the race. They will tell you in the transition area when you are making the last preparation. So on this swimming, check the goggles, make sure they fit, make sure they don't leak. I always bring another pair of goggles the morning of the race. You never know. Sometimes, actually, a couple of times, I gave it away to somebody that needed it. So why not? And mainly familiarize yourself with the area. Get in the water, look back, just visualize yourself. Remember, everybody is as nervous as you are. So you will see everybody standing in there looking strong, but everybody's thinking the same thing as you are. So you are one more. You'll be nervous somehow, but that's okay. It's normal. Just try to minimize that nervousness as much as you can. So let's keep going on the day before. So transition bags. So as you know, the importance of transition bag cannot be overstated. So they're like your silent support team. Usually what I do is after the swim practice, my next step is on the transition bags. I bring everything with me already. You have a transition bag for the run, one for the bike, and then you have two special needs bags, one for the run, one for the bike, and one is called morning bag, which is for the clothing before you start swimming. So let's talk briefly about the bike. which is the blue one, bike. And in that bag, you will put everything you need. I try to minimize all the details for the morning. So I put the helmet, the shoes, the socks, everything I need for the bike. Now, the morning of the race, you can access the bag, but I act like as if I will not have access to it. So I make sure that even if I don't have time, I have everything there in place. I do the same with the red bag, which is the running bag. Same thing, shoes, an extra pair of socks, everything you need, the nutrition, hat, sunglasses, and the bib. In Ironman, in most Ironmans, you only put the bib number on the running, and you leave it in that bag. As for the special need bags, there are different opinions about this. Most people will use an extra tube, an extra CO2, an extra sandwich, extra. As I understand, you would not recover any of that, so it's not. And for the running, some people prefer to put another pair of socks, some nutrition stuff, same thing, you will not recover any of this. So I mentioned also the morning bag. What you do there is before you get on the swimming, even if you are with family, you put everything in that bag, even your cell phone, and they will take it for you. The good thing about that bag is as soon as you finish the race, you walk for 100 meters and the bag is there waiting for you with warming clothes, with your cell phone, etc. So again, remember a successful transition is a well-prepared one, and trust in your pre-race organization, set up the basics, and you will be much better off than without it, okay? So next step after the bags is placing your bike in the transition area. This is like the moment where you solidify your readiness. This is when you say, now I'm ready to go. This step is critical, so ensure your bike is in prime condition, that you check your gear, the chain is lubricated, the brakes are tested. For the tires, different strategies. I follow a strategy that basically balances preparedness with performance. So basically, I pump them at a pressure that is ready to ride, but not to the maximum. This leaves me room for readiness in case I can't access the bike for some reason. In fact, one year I got to my bike and the tire was blown up, and I had to change it, and I did. And the good thing is I got there very early, and I was able to change it and was ready to go. There are various philosophies about tire pressure. People will say don't pressure them too much. That's what I do, and usually, even though I do all of this, I arrive super early, giving myself a peace of mind and make sure everything is ready to go. Again, I think I have a slide about that actually in a minute on what happened in the morning of the transition. I'll stop here for a minute, see if anybody has any questions. I have a lot more content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I know it's a lot. That's why I'm recording it anyway. Any questions? All right. So, all right, let's see. Where are we? Now, let's get back to the race itself, the day of the race. The day has come. And let's start with the preparation for the bike. So I like to arrive as early as I can. First of all, that allows me to secure a good parking spot, although the Woodlands is big, but parking spots are not that easy to find, and I give myself ample time. I bring my own pump, but rest assured, Ironman has several pumps in there. My first check is checking the tire pressure, make sure it's okay. Then I go and look at every bag, make sure everything is there. Sometimes it rained the night before. I make sure there is no water in the helmet or whatever it may be. I attach my bike computer. I set my hydration, and I do that and I check it and check it and check it 2-3 times. You know, every detail counts, double check everything, tires, brakes, electronics, hydration. It's a long day. You don't want to miss the race because of a small, stupid mistake you make. So, what is? This is the time where everything has to be as perfect as it could be, and you can rest assured that you can now walk for a long walk, which is like a mile away. Make sure you have ample time as well from transition to the start swimming. So make sure you have plenty of time. My tip: go super early. This way you can pick up a good spot also to even rest when you're there. Bathrooms are there. There are many, but they fill up quickly, right? So once you are there, final visits to the bathroom, trust me, it's time well spent. And then the people start lining up. Place yourself accordingly to your estimated time. Ironman changes sometimes how this goes. The last few years is a rolling start. You place yourself in the group where of your time, where you think you're gonna be, and that helps space out athletes. People start in 5 people at a time. I actually have a small video about that, and then that's where also they ratify the decision of wetsuit legal or not. So based on water temperature, so 74 Fahrenheit or about 23 is basically the temperature of that day. So I have a small video. Let's see if I can play. And this is how it has been the last few years. That's that. So believe me, again, this is where you can feel the anticipation is in the air. All the athletes are making final adjustments, goggles, wetsuit, and then 5 people at a time, every 5 seconds, I think. I think this is great. At the beginning of Ironman Texas, it was everybody together. I think one year were like 3,000 people. I don't remember. But it was a mess, and everybody started at the same time. I kind of miss those times, by the way. But now it's this way, and I think it's much better. I think it helps space out athletes much better. So moving on. So you swim, long swimming, be patient. Big buoys, I usually go from buoy to buoy. I don't try to look farther than than the next buoy. And then on the canal, don't stop. I don't know how deep it is. I never stopped there, but I'm afraid that there is a glasses broken or anything like that. So, and yeah, it's long. My best time has been 1 hour, 11 minutes, I think, once a year. Most of the time I'm 1 hour, 20 minutes, something like that. So when you get off the water, helpers will be there to give you a hand. In fact, if you wore a wetsuit, they will help you pull it down. They call it wetsuit strippers, and they will quickly put it off. Basically, you stand up and then pick the wetsuit and then straight to for your bag. The next step is to grab your is to switch to the bike. But before you do that, you're gonna grab your blue bag, the bag for the bike, right? That's the one for the biking. Once you have it, you head over to the tent, and the tent is one for men, one for women. Inside, you will find a bit of chaos, chairs all over, volunteers ready to help you out. Stay calm. Sit down, bring your head down. This is perfect time to put your socks and bike shoes slowly. Don't forget your helmet, your sunglasses, apply some chamois cream or whatever you use and then sunscreen for protection. In Ironman Texas, they did have people sunscreening you. I'm not sure it's for the bike, it's mainly on the running. And then, very important, make sure you get your nutrition, although there are stations, you don't want to forget the gels or anything else you brought. So there are going to be volunteers to take your bag. So you get off the tent, you leave your bag, they will take the bag from inside the tent, and they will take, your the bag will have your wetsuit and your goggles, basically, right? And then you have to take your bike yourself. Once you take it, remember, you cannot ride your bike just yet. You have to walk or run with the bike until you reach a specific line where you can start cycling. They'll let you know, they will yell at you, please be safe there, okay? There is a lot of cars there. So keep it cool, get set up quickly, and just go and start your long ride. 112-mile bike course. This is true test of strategy and endurance. So this terrain will challenge you. There is no steep climbs, but as I said, there are 11, I think there are overpasses. And while they're modest in elevation, they will demand consistency and really mental toughness. So especially when you look twice in the hard toll. It is true the hard toll can feel monotonous, I would say, and it's very well known for the winds in one direction. Once the direction, you will be full speed, and then the way back or the other way around, you will be struggling. So stay focused. Very important. I think it's at mile 10 or 60, because you go through it twice, you will have a chance to access that special bag need that we talk about, when you may have an extra tube and an extra sandwich or whatever it may be. It's also a good time to stop if you wanted to. They will yell your number in advance, and once you pass, you can either stop or just grab your bag. Be very careful. I wouldn't just grab the bag and keep going. So it's one thing is important about the biking. It's, remember, it's a prime time to fuel up, to eat solids, to hydrate, and drop as much water as you can. It's hot and humid, and you will need it. It's a special course in a way, because it requires this mental toughness. There are no mountains or oceans to look at. So it's not that pretty, to be quite frank with you. So once you finish that long, I guess, 5, 6 hours, 7, whatever it takes, you will feel a sense of accomplishment. You just completed this amazing 112-mile journey. So, but this is a big change from a race to a race. So it's gonna be a big change for you, for your mental, for your legs, for your body, from a bike to the running. In Ironman, in most cases, and in this one in particular, they will receive your bike. A volunteer will take the bike from you, and then you keep going. And now you go for your red bag for running. This is where you have everything you selected, the running shoes, the hat, everything else. Once again, you go to the tent. Once again, there are volunteers. There is the chairs, the same place you were before. It's just a bit more hot now and less air, and maybe less packed, because there is less people coming through now. Just take everything you need, and then start the next physical and mental challenge. So in most cases, I start walking, to be honest with you. It's just a big change in your legs and your spirit and everything else. And then once you get in the rhythm, you keep going. So I promise that you will end up running somehow, as much as you can. So now you swam, you bike, and now time to shine in the running. 26.2 miles. I think it's three loops of 8.5 miles. There are 8 stations about every mile. Water, snacks, it's great. I personally take a moment in each station and walk walk through them. Basically, I first grab water, then I take some fuel, get some fruit or a gel. I found very helpful to slip a few ice cubes in my tri suit. I also pop up some piece in my mouth of ice to keep the temperature down. They also have sponges, and oh my gosh, they're great. You squeeze some of the sponges with fresh water, and they're amazing. And actually, this is one of the races that have that. Not all of them do. This course has some shaded areas, so not bad in that sense. And there is the good thing about this race is the crowd. Oh my gosh, it's people all over. So take advantage of that. This is one of the beauties of this race. Some advice here: if you feel you cannot run anymore, well, walk and run. Get a tree or a cone and use that as the next step and the next step and the next step. I do never, ever look at my watch. That's not something I might recommend right away for you to do, but this is one of the things that helped me. I believe that looking at your watch, you'll never be happy. You will look at it and I'm too fast or I'm too slow. I never heard anybody say, oh, I'm perfect. I'm going to keep going this pace. So I personally don't look at my watch until the end of the race, by the way. So one advice there. But let's keep going. The summary of what I just said, Lake Woodlands, master your swimming as much as you can before you go. It's all about pacing and navigating the buoys. On the biking, it's a Texas terrain. It's flat for the most part, but it's not about just distance. It's these overpasses. Use the wind on your advantage. Take advantage when you have it with you, and then push head down when you have it against you. And the running, well, there is no escape for the heat, but there is, some things you could do. Like I said, the ice, the aid stations, pour some water. Now, if you do put water, one of the mistakes I made at the beginning, when I was very naive, I guess, I put a lot of water and then my shoes were full of water. So now I, kind of move forward and I put with water, not all in my shoes. So again, mental toughness there is as much about the physical endurance as the mental stamina. So prepare your mindset to be focused, right? And remember, each segment is very unique. It has a unique challenge. So use the strategy that you plan ahead for it. I hope I summarized a bit of each of the legs. Let me give you some advice for those heroes that stand by us, our family, our friends, our fans. Honestly, your support is your strength. Here are some tips. So know the course. Familiarize. I'm speaking to you as if you were one of these heroes. So ask your family, your friends, your wife, your husband to familiarize themselves with the race layout so that they could be the right place at the right time. That's all. Restrooms. There are not that many. My wife was always with me in every year in every race, and that's one of the things she struggled with, to find the right restroom. There is the HEB, there is the restaurants around, and there is a restroom next to the bike transition, but there is not many more. Ask them to pack the essentials, water, snacks, sunscreen. You never know. I made a mistake. I left my mom once in a race, and I said, wait here, and she waited for me like 12 hours. You don't want to do that. Stay informed. Use the Ironman tracker. The app works pretty well. It's just a bit of delay sometimes. Be patient. Their presence is motivated to you, so ask them to be patient and wait for you as much as they can. Celebrate every milestone, whether it's from the swimming. My friends, my family are always there. The transition of the bike, and then of course the final push and the finish line essential to be there, right? Plan for post-race. You never know what's going to happen. Organize a meeting place and a time to get together. But hopefully it's to congratulate you. Hopefully it's not for medical attention, but it happened as well. And remember, support is your beacon of encouragement. So with every cheer, every clap, every sign they hold for you is part of this journey. Okay. Last but not least, here are my final thoughts for your journey. Well, a couple of things first. I forgot to add this in. So, let me say this. Triathlon might seem like a solo sport. I mean, for the most part it is, right? But honestly, it's the strength of the community. It's what I'm doing right here, right? That's what carries us to the finish line. Try to embrace the collective power of your fellow athletes, encourage each other, train together, get in groups. The more you do, the better you will be. Online forums, communities, webinars. There is so much, whether you have a coach or not, there is so much support for this, so use it. Family, friends, invaluable. These are your cheerleaders. They're your support. If they don't agree with you doing this, you will have a tough time. So give back when you can, volunteer. That's what I do. I raise funds. I contribute to the community. I do as much as I can. I think it's part of giving back. It's not just about me doing these crazy races. And then stay engaged, with others. This is a great community. This is why I do this, and I love it. And now, yes, last but not least. So before we move to the Q&A, I wanted to think of a few things I could tell you. Getting ready for an Ironman is tough, but remember why you started. The race itself may not be important, but what's important, at least for me, has been the journey and the reasons you're there, and only you know that. Listen to the stories from people that have finished Ironman races. They show us this is as hard as it could be, but you can do it too. So listen to what others say about it, and if it's your first Ironman, you will feel like a real Ironman when you finish. So find motivational. I remember I watch other motivational speeches. I'm sure you do too, whether it's in YouTube or whatever. Very important. Imagine yourself finishing the race. Visualize yourself in the finish line. And this can help you make it real. Make small goals on the way. Don't take it all at once, step by step. Again, friends and other athletes, get with them, try to share and train together. I think my number one rule is kiss your wife, husband, son, daughter, whomever is there for you. Stop and kiss them, thank them, because without them, I don't know you, this is not for professional athletes. We don't live from this. Maybe you do. Somebody there is living of this, and that's okay as well. I have stopped in every race. That's my own decision on that, and give them a good kiss, a good hug. So just do your best. That's what it's all about. It is about the journey, and hopefully I'll see you guys there. And now I'll open it up for questions. I hope you're not sleeping by now, and somebody can come with some questions. So you are all muted in case you have a question. So you can click the first button on the bottom of your screen.
Hi, Fernando. Great presentation. I just wanted to learn a little bit more of how you focus on the training. I guess you do more biking, running, and swimming. How do you work on the training?
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Alejandro. Look, the main thing for me is consistency. I'm very consistent since the day I started. Actually, now it's 12, 13 years. Unfortunately, I don't swim as much as I should, although I do not recommend that. I put more volume in the running than anything else. I think having a good running and good legs at the end is one of the most important things, although it's very almost equal to the biking. Just to give you an idea, I bike and run every day of my life, 1 hour each. I do Swift, and then I run. Now, let me say this: I compete a lot, so that compensates for those long rides that others do. Instead of going for 5 hour rides, I go for another race. I hope that helps you, Alejandro.
Yes, no, thank you. I'm actually running a 50-mile ultra this weekend, so I kind of do the same, focus more on the running and then biking, but yeah, my swim socks.
Perfect.
And what about the taper? How long do you start tapering before the race, Fernando?
Yeah, that's another good question. So, look, my case is a bit different because I race a lot. Last year I did 20 big races, so those are my tapering. I recommend, in terms of tapering, I recommend to almost keep going, to be honest. Not to the extent of, running 15 miles the last weekend, but I do recommend in most cases, let's say for a full Ironman, that even the weekend before people run, 12 miles or so, and then start taking it down. The last week, yes, I start taking it down little by little. A couple of fast sessions of running, like let's say 5 miles as fast as possible 3 days before. I think that helps the body and the muscles memorize and get it tuned for the race day. It all depends, and we all different, right? It all depends on where you are in the training level and what you want to accomplish on the race.
Thank you, Fernando. Great presentation. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Alejandro. Any other questions? Alejandro?
I have a question about wetsuits on the swim.
Yes.
So I had heard that, I think you had said earlier, even if it's wet, they're not wetsuit legal, but you can still wear the wetsuit. All the halves that I've done have been wetsuit legal, and I've used a wetsuit, and I've heard, I think the way that they're going to say is you can wear the wetsuit, but you can't qualify or whatever, which I'm in that category. I'm not here for that. Do you find that people that tend to use the wetsuit, do they find that it was too warm and they're overheating, or is it just personal preference?
Hi, Travis. Yeah, that's an excellent question. So let me explain what I've seen. Just to make it clear, this Ironman Texas did have a couple of years or more, I don't remember, where wetsuit was legal. And if you did use it, most people will go later in the back, actually, and they will not qualify. I guess you get that. I never took that chance. However, I did swim with the wetsuit just to try it out the day before, and it was a bit too warm for me. I am a cold person, so to be frank, in most cases, you do not need it. As you know, the wetsuit will help with flotation, right? Worst case scenario or best case scenario, if you have a sleeveless suit, that's also a good option. In fact, there are 3 options. You can have a full wetsuit, a sleeveless, or a skin suit. I have chosen to use the skin suit in most cases, but the second choice, like in Galveston, a sleeveless could work well. Make sense, Travis?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. That was one of my concerns, is how warm it was going to be. So based on the water temperature, I was thinking of doing the practice swim with or without it to kind of see how it goes. I just prefer, I'm a little faster in the wetsuit, and that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe I wear it, and I'm certainly not going to Kona and not really interested in it either. So
yeah, well, everybody is in most cases faster on the wetsuit. Now, let me say this. I will always bring my wetsuit. You never know that something happened and it gets cold and you need it and you regret not to bring it. Bring it, then you make the decision right there. In fact, in most cases, in most of my races, I go with the sleeveless and the full wetsuit, and then I make a decision right there. By the way, guys, if we pass the time, I don't care. I would love to answer any questions you have, so don't feel rushed about it, okay?
Awesome. Thank you. And great presentation. Thank you for doing this.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope to meet you, Travis, in the... What, you coming from New York, right? Is that...
Oh, no, I'm actually in San Antonio. I'm only about 3 hours away from Houston.
Okay, that was somebody else then. Okay, well, love to see you there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know the weather well.
Yes, sir.
What else? Any other questions? I'm sure you guys have questions. Brenda, Mickey, Guillermo, Boris, Andrea. Some people I know. There were more people registered, but I guess, it was too late. I didn't know what was a good time, but I might do it again. By the way, if any of you do Galveston, I do Galveston every year as well, so I might do a webinar on Galveston. Not much different, but there are a few things here and there that are different, of course.
Hi, Fernando. Thank you for the presentation, for the time. I really appreciate it, and it was really, really helpful. My question is, which type of goggles would you recommend us to use? Which type, like clear goggles, or maybe some black goggles, or which type of goggles would you say would be the best for this course?
Yeah, another amazing question. Believe me, I used at least 10 different brands throughout the years. I now use the Aquaspheres, the ones that are kind of normal, $30. Two things to consider. You don't see nothing in this lake. You see from here to here. If you feel comfortable with the bigger masks, I would recommend that because it gives you more visual. I don't see many people with the big ones. Now, to be frank, recently I did an Ultraman and I put a big mask because I thought I would need more vision. And then a few minutes later, I had leaking water. Test whatever you're going to use, please test it. Test it more than 10 minutes because you never know. One thing is I mentioned the sun, and I do remember several times the sun hitting my eyes and I couldn't see much. So polarized will be better. I don't know if the polarization works, to be honest, with the sun. Yet hard to prove, but yeah. This race, the good thing about it, the buoys, they have all the buoys, I guess, every 100 yards, and you go from buoy to buoy. I've been in races where they don't have that many. So to go from buoy to buoy is a different story. So I hope that helps, but whatever you use, please use it. Go the morning before, test them out as much as you can, not only for 10 minutes, but a bit longer so you don't get in trouble, okay?
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, and see you in April.
Yes, see you soon. See you soon. Any of you coming to Galveston by any chance? Okay, Galveston is a great training for Ironman Texas. I always do it because of that, but many people are concerned that it's too close for as a race. I don't think so, but it depends on how much volume you put it on. So, Alejandro, you have a question?
Yeah, Fernando. What about nutrition? What brand, what else? What do you usually do in your nutrition?
I got an amazing question. So, nutrition is very personal, right? I have used them all. I have used gels of all kinds, nutrition packages of all kinds. Most lately, I've been using the ones from Ironman. In fact, this is what they give you in the race day. What are they called? Morel, yeah. The white and black. They give you that on the race day. So I find those easy to digest. Most recently, I tried SIS. I have stomach problems. I have a hard time to ingest gels. And the ones that are better for me are the ones that are more liquid. The SIS that I just tried were good, and this was for a big, massive race. So, whatever you decide to do, please try them before, right? Very important, electrolytes and salt pills. The salt stick or any other kind is very humid. You're gonna sweat a lot. So make sure you get that in. The stations are good. They have almost everything until the end. I've been in a couple of races where that was not the case. This is a good one for that. I hope they keep it that way. I do not take anything before the swimming. I don't want to take risks on that. I have breakfast very, very, very early. I like 3 a.m. So that I don't have any issues and I can go to the bathroom as many times as I can. And that's mainly my nutrition.
Gracias, Fernando. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Boris is saying he likes the feed. So yeah, that's also, again, there are a lot of good products out there. Don't get, I would say this, don't get too bogged down into the marketing aspects of things. Make sure it works for you. Not because a friend told you it's good. I'm not saying that Boris is not right, but you know, try what works for you. You'll be surprised. Not everything works for everybody. In the bike, actually the bike that I used to use is right here in the back. It's a Ventum. It has a water tank. If you have one of those bicycles with a water tank, here's an advice for you. It's very hot and those tanks get hot. You better drink it fast or you put some ice cubes or something. It did not work for me all the time, okay? So what I did is I had a water tank and I have an extra bottle in the back. And that bottle could be one of the ones they give me in the stations. Different strategies there, but make sure you hydrate because it's very hot. Brenda, any questions from you? You've been quiet. En español también, in case. No?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know Guille, I know Boris, I know they will ask me questions anytime. Well, you know, we are at the top of the hour. I don't mind any more questions. If you wanted to send me an email, please hesitate. Trying to think of what else. Nobody asked about the mechanics and the tools. I bring my own here. A couple of tips quickly, if it's okay. Please learn how to change a tube. You'll be surprised how many people cannot do that. And I don't know if you know, but nobody can help you. You have to do it yourself, even if there is a mechanic. So now another advice, things that happened to me. I had these deep wheels, you know, the carbon wheels, and please make sure you bring an extension for the valve. You will be in deep troubles if you have a flat and then the tube that you have inside did not have an extension, and the one you're replacing it with does not have an extension. So bring an extension. CO2 carriages, at least 2, at least, if not 3. I never bring an extra tire, but some people do. I'm gonna do a video for race mechanics and try to, you know, the basic stuff. So be tuned for that. And anything else on the mechanics that I could think of. On the transition, there is mechanics, but you have to do everything yourself when the race is happening. So, in fact, just a quick story. My first half Ironman in I think it was in Austin 12 years ago. I used somebody else's pump. When I went to get my bike, it had a flat. I found a pump. I pump it, finished the race, went home, happy. 2 days later, got an email that I was disqualified because I used somebody else's pump. So true story. So anyway, I don't think it mattered to me, but whatever. All right. Thank you all. This was great, better than I expected. I really enjoy talking about this. I have a lot more to tell you. Don't hesitate to reach out and I wish you the very best race. Not only one. Hopefully you keep going, or you have more races in your plan. I'm gonna do like 20 races this year again if my wife allows